Good day to the Skywatch group. I thought seeing as we're in therapy mode, I'll give you a little bit of my kind of therapy. This is my sis and me on the beach, and no, we are not skywatching, we are whale watching. And whether one's skywatching or whale watching, you still need your camera, and at least we've got enough space and peace and quiet to go do that. And I definitely think being on the beach all on your own is some kind of good therapy. And walking on or past one of our rivers is not an ordeal either. Of course, exploring rivers is much better done by boat, but still just being up on the hill, seeing it, it's good for the soul. No, maybe about that. So as long as we keep our eyes on the ground, life in paradise is hunky-dory. But then you swing your camera up to the skies and it gets a little bit scary. We had one of those crazy sunsets the other night, and anybody who looks at it probably goes, "Whoa, that is amazing." And you know, it probably is amazing until you look at what's actually going on there. I'm just going to pause it there. You know, just look at those two things and look where they're going, and you know, it's just too crazy. And if you look at these clouds and where you think the clouds are and what goes past each other, and then you see nothing actually computes. And the light ships, we ain't even going to go to the light ship, but look at these clouds now. And you know, it looks like this black is coming past the clouds, but when you see this, you can clearly see that these light ships are actually in front of what looks like these wispy little clouds and mist. I'll just show you that again. Sorry, not such hot camera work, but anyway, you get the drift. So this is one of those amazing, do we call them clouds? Do we call them light ships? So what on earth is this? This thing here is most peculiar as well. We've got a close-up of that coming in a second. Just look at that. You know, a cloud. And if this cloud is coming this way, and this is all going that way, this is going against the wind, or, you know, it's just too peculiar. I see something else here now. I see triangle shapes absolutely everywhere. And whether they're big triangles like that or, you know, half like this, I just see them absolutely everywhere. Now, I don't want to profess that they are cloud ships or anything like that, but very definitely there is something up with these triangles that you just see again and again. Look at this one. It's absolutely same thing. You know, we have got clouds moving all over the sky here. This is going that way, this is coming this way, that's going that way. I mean, we have some strange wind here, don't we? And again, we're not even going to talk about these luminosities, but I do see a lot of spheres as well. I hope you can see that. Darkened that a little bit, you can see that much better now. You can see something in here. And you know, yeah, clouds, I guess, clouds, who knows? I'm just going to flip through some of my photos and then play with my highlights and some brightness and just see what comes out of these clouds. Doing a little bit of contrast there. I just want to zoom in a little bit. You know, call me crazy, but to me, I can see my triangles again. but maybe it's my eyes because I see them everywhere. But clouds? Clouds? Just playing with some contrast and highlights again. And this is also one of those crazy, crazy ones. I guess we'd have to say that was a bird. It's got absolutely nothing to do with this stuff wafting over. Of course, there's my triangle. This one could actually nearly be a diamond shape. There's something over there. And I guess another bird over there. But, you know, what are these lines? How crazy is this shit? This is pure nanostructure, if you ask me. Sphere upon, I can't say that word, you know. I'm just going to say circles. Sphere upon sphere. But there we go. Two lovely eyes. Yes. And so it carries on and on. And here's another cool one. A big triangle for a change. And what is this? This looks like I can't think what you call it. Like a rolled out barrel or something. Just lines and lines. Look at this. See, I would have to say that all of this stuff comes from whatever that is. Because it seems like something has made that line and things are just spreading around it. But, well, yes, there's my triangle at the end of it, so I guess, let's see if we can, I guess that could have something to do with it. You know, when I see things in the clouds like this, and I have to wonder, sometimes, do we look in the positive or should we be looking at the negative? Because so often on the edges you see something, whether it's a sphere or a triangle or something. And, you know, I sometimes think that these things are put in the negative to confuse us, because our brains don't take that in. And the same cloud a little bit later, and, well, to me, it's either grown some eyes now, or we have got two little triangles up there. And if that is a face, it's a pretty scary face. It could be a monkey. Maybe it's a peed-off monkey, I don't know. Maybe he's having some verbal diarrhea, and that's where this crap comes from. How strange is that? If somebody can tell me how to change the cursor on this on this program, that would be cool as well, because I keep getting that yellow brown circle that I can't get rid of. So a little bit of help, thanks. And so sometimes I look at this stuff and I just, you know, it just defies explanation, doesn't it? And as I've said, no line makers here, but still, you end up with something like this, and it's the only thing in the sky, and then you think, well, something must have made that line. I was talking about nanostructures just now. We also have these weird clouds that you see so often. You know, I call them the out of focus clouds, because it doesn't matter what you do, you can never focus on them properly. But when we go in a little bit more, you always see lines. Look at that. Lines going through it. As if it's like separate things that have come together. And then you always get lines going up and down. You know, I'll take my cursor away so you can see a bit better, but there's always up and down lines as long as, or let's say, there's always vertical as much as horizontal lines. And yeah, you know, I'm sure if we looked very nicely, we're probably going to find all sorts of faces and things in these clouds, but well, sometimes I think, as I'm Billy No Mates here on the tip of Africa, somebody has to be scared, and that's me. And you know, sometimes the sky does look quite blue, and we can see something wispy there, but only when we start playing with it do we see what's actually going on up there. Yeah, blue skies. Right. I mean, would that be mist then? Oh, I just don't know. So back to my out of focus clouds, and yes, I guess some weather tard will tell us just how these lines come about, but you know, if you had shown me this and said it came from America or from Europe, I would definitely have said chemtrails. But yeah, I can't say that. And this is off to the other side now. I've just darkened it a little bit. But you know, back to triangles all over the place. And clouds going this way. Not too bad this time. It doesn't look too bad. And now, and I won't even ask what that is. But look at this in the fine, fine lines. You see all my triangles coming back? I know I've got an issue with these triangles, but it's just because I see them absolutely everywhere. I see them in big, I see them in small, I see them in dark, I see them in light. You know, I don't know if you can see that, but sometimes just putting a filter over it helps things pop out a little bit. And back to another out of focus one, my out of focus clouds. Do you see what I mean about the lines everywhere? I mean, how crazy is this? You know, on top of these thick black lines we can see everywhere, there are thin, thin lines going everywhere, and of course there would be a triangle. And it's as if this is just wafting from that big thing. So I look at that and I have to think, breeding colony or something like that. You see, it's like there's a thick line here, and this is just coming off that line. Crazy, crazy. Sometimes it's hard to even think of something to say about these things, because you start looking and should we be scared? You know, when I see what's going up there and I see how it grows and multiplies, and let's not go talk about strange weather phenomena. And I do so think we must have reason for concern. This is one of those strange ones again, because if the wind is blowing that way and that's going that way, then how on earth is that all going that way?